At no point are you going to hear me claim something with a game spoke to me, react to my words, or for me to punch myself repeatedly in the face. No, this isn't about a haunted game, or a game doing something impossible, or even something it shouldn't have. This isn't about a glitch, or a hidden secret message, and at no time did I phone in Nintendo headquarters only to have my questions answered with hush whispers and screams. This story is about a game feature I don't think anyone else has unlocked. That's it. No ghosts or conspiracies. It's a secret we were all supposed to find, but never did. Something that changes an entire generation's childhood and the very essence of a multi-million, billion-dollar franchise. This is about what I presume to be a previously undiscovered alternate ending of Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. In 1996, I received my first computer as a birthday gift. I've been on the internet before, I'd used computers before, but it had always been in a school or at a friend's house. This one was mine. All mine. I explored the crude, prehistoric web at the time with great interest. I downloaded all sorts of pornography and even printed it out, which made absolutely no sense. I also printed media like a madman, music, games, anything. This is where I first discovered Mario World. I had never had a Super Nintendo as a little kid, so it was all new to me. I downloaded tons of games along with the SNES emulator. Mario World was my favorite. For over a decade, the same Mario World ROM was my time-wasting hobby. I played it over and over again, getting faster and faster until I began to lazily explore the worlds with no particular purpose. Game genie codes helped immensely. I turned off the timer and relive a particularly entertaining map for an hour as I waited for a download or any number of boring events. It was in this manner that I must have beaten and rebeaten the game thousands upon thousands of times. There was comfort in the obsessive-compulsive behavior of this routine, and all of that shattered when I saw the Blind Boo. Blind Boo, as I refer to it, was hovering over the exit from the haunted sunken ship level later on in the game. I called blind because it actually had no visible eyes. It was like someone made a lazy ROM hack, but I knew from years upon years of experience that this was a normal game. The Blind Boo just hung there over the exit pipe, blocking it. I turned my back on it, but it didn't chase me. How could it? It didn't even see me. Then, I noticed something else out of the sorts. There was a key and keyhole misplaced above the exit. Keys and keyholes as such, are ways of ending a level in an alternate manner and discovering a secret area. Still, this didn't belong there, and I knew it. For a moment, I considered the fact that I had actually broken a ROM file from overuse. After taking a screenshot specifically to show all you Mario Bros. Fans out there, I picked up the key and opened the door, figuring the game would seize up and I'd have to restart. Instead, it opened a new path on the map selection screen. A whirlpool next to Bowser's already creepy head cave thing. I pressed the right arrow and moved on to the whirling drain. Oh god, no. This didn't really strike me as odd, because if you're familiar with the Mario World game, there's an area called Star Road that you may note has similar names. Just stuff like tubular and awesome and all manner of dumb words and phrases. Most of the areas were called Vanilla Forest 1, Dota Mountain 3, and all that, but there were maps with odd names like that. What did concern me, though, was Mario's expression. Surprise, shock, fear? I entered the map. Oddly enough, the whirlpool in the middle of the lake began with the standard castle entry animation. Mario walked up to a castle door, looked up, and then went in. I could tell it was underwater, though. There were the bubbles that periodically emerged from the sprite's mouth and floated to the top of the screen. Inside that castle, it started to look more and more like I was, in fact, experiencing a glitch. There was no room to jump, no room to do anything but run left and right. I must have gone right for 10 to 20 minutes, just holding the B button and running along at full speed. After a while, I ran into one or more blind boos in the darkness above, and 3 or 4. Then the screen was full of them. They just kind of hung there, doing nothing. They wouldn't chase me if I turned my back, as with the previous blind boo. If I made any noise like Mario's jump sound, they would just kind of shudder a bit, like they heard the sound of Mario's movements, but couldn't do anything about it. Then something made me stop and turn the other way. Now I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that this map was designed specifically to screw with the player, not because the giant bleeding bill was hemorrhaging profusely from its face, but because it was inescapable. There was literally no way to avoid being killed by it, as you clearly see above. That is, unless you're like me and you have Game Genie cheats on hand. I switched on the code for permanent invincibility. I let the bleeding bill chase me for a while when I was invincible, just to get a good look at the thing. I stopped and killed it with my invulnerable touch, only when I saw a message that hadn't been there when I passed before. I hate you. That kind of creeped me out, but on the other hand, it was kind of interesting because it meant this was definitely a map that was supposed to exist. There was some sort of plot element here, something undiscovered. What did it mean? Who hated me? King Koopa seemed the obvious answer. Maybe just a ghost. When you're in a haunted castle that you found by way of a haunted ship, a bloody-looking hate message isn't so unbelievable. I saw it again as I approached some giant boos. I was thankful that the blind boos ended at this point. because the more I watched him shudder, the uneasier I felt, almost empathetic with my thankfulness ended when I turned back on the giant boos, and this happened. Giant boos with faces I hadn't seen before. They always looked mad at being awake and angry that you were invading their haunted houses across the Mario World island. This was different, and they looked gleeful, demented. I see right through their throats, which seemed odd given the lack of detail their mouths usually displayed. And yes, of course, I'm going to address that message you saw in the picture. Why won't you die? I don't know why. Am I supposed to? Who's asking? I let the giant boos touch me, and they died like the bleeding bills, of which I had encountered too. Despite any attempt to scare the player, I knew that being invincible meant invincible no matter what they threw at me. After a while of running down the strange claustrophobic corridor with no more eventful happenings, I came to a room with an exit pipe. Taking the pipe downward, I came out the other end and dropped into a room filled with water. The water made sense, this being a sunken castle beneath a whirlpool and all. I was waterful from my troubles with a question mark block that released a mushroom for me. I could easily done this with a cheat code, but the thought had escaped me as I faced all these new and strange sights. First creatures I encountered in the underwater portion of the castle were thwomps. Unless you've been living under a rock since the mid-80s, you'd know thwomps are stone-like square creatures that hang from the ceiling and fall whenever you come near. They try to crush you, essentially. Well, these thwomps, lined up in a tight row, dropped repeatedly and randomly with no real trigger or any sense of logic. They would just wait or drop whenever they seemed to feel like it. It also looked like these thwomps had been very successful thwomps. More cartoony blood. This was getting pretty unusual for the Mario Bros. Franchise, which I hadn't recalled seeing blood in at all. Now I'd seen it used 3 times, the bloody bills and messages, and these perpetually smashing, grinding thwomps who were working their victims to the Pope forever. And the hampering effects of the water, I walked slowly under these things, making sure every single one of them touched me and died. There were almost 30 of them in a row. The sight of them mindlessly crushing over and over again just made me hate them with an unsettling intensity. That's weird. What's weird is that the blood caused Mario to slide as if he were in a lice level. After walking through the gauntlet of depravity, I swam into a more open area that was filled with spikes on the floor and ceiling. It was difficult to swim in this manner without touching the spikes, but since I was still invincible, I didn't think much of it. I would have them more for fun than out of any sense I'd be damaged. It stopped being fun really fast, though. Now I knew something was going on. The bloody mess the thwomps were endlessly splattering. It was other Marios, past Marios that had been trying to traverse this level and failed. I had to admit that this was an excellent touch, even if a bit ghoulish. Whoever had designed this map actually broke the fourth wall and showed you the bloated, motionless abortions of the player's own careless treatment of Mario's tiny life. The bodies only floated straight up and down a little bit, as if to show effects of a light current. It was genius. I can believe I may be the first and only person to ever see this. I toyed with the idea of taking more than one screenshot I just presented to you, basically, so all of you reading this can enjoy the secret as much as I had, especially this weird little touch. But without swimming, without kicking or moving in any way, the dead Mario started to come at me like the torpedoes. Faces remained blank and blue and dead. But they moved with astounding speed. They angled in position and worked all sorts of unique trajectories, leaving me almost nowhere to move. They continued coming at me and swarming and backing up to try again, and I just couldn't bring myself to let them touch me. I moved with more speed and skill than I'd ever exerted, frantically trying to keep Mario free of the drowning victims that seemed dead set on rocking him straight towards him. When I finally reached the purple exit pipe you see above, there had to be 10 of those things right behind me, pitching, turning, and chasing me. I entered the pipe as fast as I could, thankful that it worked properly, and had Mario out of that situation in a heartbeat. The corridor that followed was empty, thankfully. It was just a blue underwater hallway with nothing to avoid or kill. It was boring and predictable like the game had been all these years. It felt like a sense of safety. At the end of the hallway, I came to the standard pair of doors you'd enter to face a final boss. Beside the doorway, a mushroom power-up. I didn't touch that crap. Going through the door as you'd expect, the typical change of map views occurred, and Mario was standing on the virtuous bridge over boiling lava. There had been blood all along. Mario walked down onto the stage, however. There was no boss creature. Instead, Mario looked to the side and froze. He couldn't control him anymore. He just stood there. Keep looking until you see it. I didn't even see it at first, so I don't expect you to notice it right away. If you still haven't spotted the thing, look in the third window from the left. FYI, that's not usually there. Mario seemed to regain his composure and looked back and forth slowly, surveying the room. There was still no boss, and I still couldn't control him, so I stopped trying and just watched. This went on and on, for what seemed like forever. Nothing happened. Then a familiar face walked in from the right, dressed in green, tall, and angry. It was Luigi. Mario recoiled with horror. It's difficult to say this without thinking how crazy it sounds, but Mario really reeled back with some sort of terror that was uncharacteristic for such a happy-go-lucky mascot like him. And Luigi's soap. It was all connected now. The messages swirling them all was, I hate you, and why won't you die, Luigi? It's always been Mario's second amendment. The player, too. Even doesn't get references in the earlier games. No matter how identical he is to Mario in skill set and ability and tenaciousness and bravery, at the end of the day, the game is Super Mario Brothers. He's just the brother. Now, how many of us have hated Mario? Who among us wouldn't? Think about it. No matter what happens, Mario always comes back. No matter how many corpses he leaves in the battlefield, he's always there once more to leap and cheer and get all the adoration. And Koopa hadn't worked alone? I didn't know what that meant at first, if anything, but again, you just have to think about it. How exactly does King Koopa consistently succeed in kidnapping the princess? From day one, from the original Mario Bros. Onward, it's always been an inside job. Still unable to control the character, I watched Mario simply cower in fear as Luigi leapt high in the air, as high as he could in Mario 2, the black sheep of the franchise. He jumped on the pathetic weeping Mario again and again and again. I was powerless to stop it. When he was done, he seemed to look at Mario's limp body with this overwhelming rage. Then the bridge started to disappear. Soon Mario would be dead. As I looked on, I had an irrational thought. Would it be permanent? Within an instant, as Luigi turned to seemingly strike victory pose like he'd beaten the level, Mario awkwardly got to his feet and took him by surprise. Fear and sadness and confusion had given way to anger, and Mario overpowered his brother with little effort. To this day, I'm still haunted by that final result of this wrathful surprise. It was the map's title. None of this was a glitch. None of it was a mistake. It wasn't a developer getting back at Nintendo. It wasn't a ghost haunting a Nintendo cartridge. It was a plan. A purposeful event of the Mario Brothers mythos. If you beat the same level X number of times, the secret part of the world open, and you learn from that, from Mario Bros. To Mario Land, Luigi had secretly been working against you, and was in fact facilitating in the repeated abduction interviews of the princess. But why? Money? Power? No, it's all there. But he couldn't take not being the one in the spotlight, not being Mario himself. After Luigi died, well and truly died, Mario just sat on the edge of the bridge and wept. I was forced to watch this for minutes on end before the screen faded to black. I played the rest of the game through to see if anything changed. Nothing else odd happened, as one would expect, since this whole idea was just supposed to be part of the actual full story. I couldn't access the world war again. I'd seen the events once, and that was all I was apparently allowed to. It was back to the game as usual. The same exact game I played since the 90s, and would probably continue to play for the rest of my days. Well, it was the same, except for that final image.